if she loves them equally, why isn't she showing it equally?
Because babe, not all your kids are gonna be equal in terms of sino yung mga ngailangan sa'yo.
Hey everyone, this is Maine Manalansan Veneracion, an all-around creative.
And Kevin Veneracion, a mental health professional.
Welcome to Therapop,
A conversation podcast where we therapize your favorite pop culture characters.
Hi everyone! Welcome to this episode of Therapop. I sound so...
Hi everyone! Kevin and Maine again.
I guess first of all, just wanna say, please be nice to me. Kakagaling ko lang sa sakit.
And she's 8 months pregnant.
I know.
We're both very worried.
Yeah.
Alright,
so that's the update. That's why I sound like this. Chararat.
Chararat. Speaking of chararat.
galing ko magbigay ng segue, no?
Speaking of chararat, where did we hear that term? What movie did we hear that term?
Well, we first heard that term in the movie Four Sisters and the Wedding. At least I did.
Yeah, me also.
Me also. Chararat. So that's the topic for today. So the movie was released in 2013, directed by Kathy Garcia Molina. Ang pangit ng boses ko.
It's not
Kathy
bad.
Garcia Molina. Isipin nyo na lang, like, raspy voice. Yeah.
Bedroom
voice. Okay, starring Bea Alonzo, Angel Locsin, siya yung Magdayaw, and Chong Die, and She Who Must Not Be Named. And then, a star. Stop, nagbibanata ako. And then, they also have a supporting cast with Connie Reyes, Sam Milby, Bernard Palanca, Janice Del Prado from One More Chance also, Angeline Quinto, Carmi Martin, and Cowboy Garavilla.
Siya si Apo Hiking?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one you forgot to include in your notes. Say sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Apo Hiking.
He's a
I listen to your songs though.
Yeah. So in the movie, if you're not familiar with it, where have you been? You've been living under a rock. But basically, yung premise niya is there are 4 sisters and they need to stop the wedding of their youngest brother because they think na they jumped into...
You think that chararat yung fiancé?
They think that chararat yung fiancé. They also think na they got into their relationship super fast kasi they met each other like on a cruise.
Although medyo pretty true naman. Like, I think it was a few months lang. And then they decided
parang 3 months.
And they decided to get married agad.
Yeah, so... With that, I mean, that's the main agenda of the movie. But, syempre, as they stop the wedding, medyo maraming other family drama na uncover with it. And I think yung main topic natin for today is birth order. Kasi parang, like, yung hinighlight nila talaga, like, the dynamics and how different they are.
Yeah, I think the script writers made sure na nare-reflect sa characters, sa personality ng characters, yung mga, I guess, what we come to expect when it comes to birth order. I guess it's good to start with the actual theory itself, the birth order theory. So, if the past episodes, yung friend natin si Eric Erickson,
our good friend,
for today,
our series regular,
for today, we'll introduce you to another psychotherapist, and his name is Alfred Adler. So Alfred Adler, taga Vienna. So he's an Austrian. So he's an Austrian psychotherapist actually in the early 1900s. So siya nag-develop ng birth order theory, and basically what he's trying to say is that our personalities, they also develop based on our birth order sa pamilya. Examples, top of our heads, if you're the eldest child daw, since sanay ka na ikaw yung nilook up to ng mga younger siblings mo, and then a lot of older kids or eldest children, born leaders or authoritarian or strict daw. If you're the middle child naman daw, parang lagi ka hindi napapansin, so it's either sanay ka na, sige, wala akong pakialam, or ikaw yung parang medyo rebel, or either neutral or rebel. It's either of 2 ways daw.
Okay.
And then syempre yung youngest child, well, yung common conception natin is spoiled. Spoiled daw. So I guess we will dive into it today kung, mukhang totoo nga ba talaga.
Yeah, and the theory is pretty old. It's from the 1900s. So maybe, is there like a newer? Sorry, I don't know hindi mo.
No, I think that's like the template. Pero clear naman sila dun sa birth order theory na hindi naman yun automatic. It's just it's the common experience for a lot of people lang. For a lot of eldest children, sanay talaga sila na role model sila ng younger siblings sila, and na mataas ang expectations ng parents sa kanila being the eldest, and that's true for a lot of families. So hindi siya automatic, pero it's common for a lot of families, kaya nagkaroon ng ganong theory.
Okay, shall we do a deep dive per character? I want to get into it. Okay, so let's start with the first one, Teddy, played by, kilala nyo na. Played by hindi ko kilala.
So let's call her Teddy.
Let's call her Teddy na lang. So Teddy is the eldest, and the way she was introduced in the movie was she is working in Spain as a waitress and parang like a house help, and later on we discovered na she used to be a teacher, but she got laid off because of like economic crisis whatever in Spain, so she had to take on other jobs to be able to sustain herself. But the thing is, hindi niya sinabi sa family niya because parang may shame, like nahihiya siya, and she is also the clear favorite of the mom. Like Teddy all the time. So do you think that's the reason why ayaw niya, nahiya siya sabihin sa family niya, because she's the favorite and she knows na, ayun nga, the pressure as like the role model, kaya ayaw niyang sabihin.
I think definitely, I mean, the pressure more than being the favorite, the pressure of being the eldest, this matches well actually with the birth order theory na being the eldest means there are high expectations placed upon you by your parents, kasi ang expectation ng parents mo sa'yo is ikaw magsaset ng example for the younger siblings, and that actually means being successful in school, being a good child, you know, all of those things. So, ang taas talaga ng pressure for eldest children. And I actually think there's a point where it becomes too much pressure, which nakita natin kay Teddy, na even when she I guess in a way suffered disappointments, which is inevitable for everyone kahit eldest ka man ng bunso, parang because nasanay siya na ang taas ng tingin sa kanya, expectations sa kanya ng parents niya, napakalaki nung naging impact nun on her own sense of worth, like nakatali doon na feeling niya wala siyang mapakitang mukha sa pamilya niya, sa nanay niya, na hindi siya naging successful. And that's like a common pitfall for a lot of eldest kids, na kahit mataas expectations sa inyo ng parents nyo, please remember na lahat tayo pwedeng magkamali. Kasi yun, kita natin kay Teddy, it's not healthy na you can't even own up to your failures or your disappointments because you feel like hindi ka matatanggap ng parents mo. And that's obviously a pattern na buong buhay naranasan ni Teddy. It's not something in the moment lang. So yun, aside from that, I think other things we noticed kay Teddy is being the eldest nga, sanay ka na your younger siblings look up to you. So in a way, parang nagiging sanay ka na ikaw yung authoritarian, ikaw yung leader.
Yeah.
And it's either two ways. It's either super controlling ka when you grow up, or you're a born leader. I'm a born leader, pero leader ka from an early age, I mean.
Yeah, and there's a difference. Like, leading is different from being an authoritarian. Mm-hmm. You know?
And I guess finally also for eldest children, for a long time, kasi lagi older yung mga ka-interaction mo. Like, older adults.
Mature.
Diba, adults yung lagi mong kausap, kasi wala ka namang siblings younger than you. You're mature for your age daw. Kung eldest child ka or only child ka, you're more mature for your age compared to other kids your age na hindi sila eldest sa pamilya. Parang ganun. That's something that they've noticed daw.
Yeah, I see. I mean, that can happen naman talaga, especially if, I don't know, only child, tapos you really spend a lot of time with your parents, because I didn't. And lastly, kay Teddy, the wall of recognition.
Yeah, man, what was that about?
That was like, I mean, I really understand that you wanna display the achievements and accomplishments of your children, kasi syempre you're proud, but to do it side by side is like, that is not it.
Diba? Parang sobrang halata na Bobby and Teddy puro achievers.
Tapos si Alex
halos walang awards at all.
Do you think the mom intentionally did that? Na parang,
di naman. Why ba't naman yung sasadyain?
Kasi favorite niya si Teddy.
Para ma-feel good si Teddy?
Oo.
Feeling hindi naman. Not, at least not on a conscious level.
Kasi, wait, okay, diba? Doon bumalik sila sa bahay. And then, the mom was like, oh, Teddy, your PhD certificate, let's say, hindi mo pa napapadala sa akin, padala mo na para malagay ko dito sa wall. And then, Sam will be butted in, saying na, oh, yung ano rin ni Bobby, diba, Bobby, nakatapos ka rin ng ganyan. Bakit wala pa dito? And then, Bobby just downplayed it. And then, the mom was like, oh, okay, sige, lagay na rin natin. More passive.
I think not on a conscious level. Subconscious, hindi niya nahalata na nagka-come out yung favoritism niya. Which is what Bobby pointed out naman eh. There's a confrontation scene. Well, definitely, with our kids in the future, I guess that's one of the things I would like to teach them. Let's encourage them not to compare themselves to other people. In terms of identifying yung self-worth nila. Maybe what we can teach them is comparing themselves to an earlier version of themselves as they grow up. In terms of ano yung naging growth nila, so they can feel good about themselves na, as the years pass, nagkakaroon ako ng growth in some areas. So maybe yun yung gusto nating ituro.
Also, like, not compare ourselves to them. Kasi that one damaged me so much. Emotion dump. Trauma dump. So just compare themselves to like the previous version.
Yeah, previous versions of themselves. Para ma-emphasize yung growth. So, I think that's another healthy perspective.
Yeah.
Sige. So, anything else for Teddy?
Wala na, ayoko sa kanya.
Kay Teddy, okay.
Doon tayo sa favorite ko. Kay Bobby.
Sige, so
Bobby is played by Bea Alonzo. And her story naman is, when we first met her, she's working in New York as a communications manager or something. Basta like she's on a high-level position. And then she is living with Sam Bilby and the daughter of Sam Bilby. And then
hindi ata sila live-in. Live-in ba sila sa States?
Hindi ba?
Parang hindi ata.
Pumunta lang si
Sam sa condo niya.
Okay. And then later on, we discovered na Bea actually went to the States because parang the family needed financial help or support, so she sacrificed herself and really worked towards working there so that she could support their family and the aspirations of the siblings.
Yeah, I think that time nagkasakit yung dad, nagkasakit yung mom, tapos si Alex was doing her film stuff.
Why are you laughing?
Which wasn't lucrative, right? And parang gusto siyang ipalipat ng more traditional courses ng parents. Yeah. Pero Bobby was like, no, I'll support her.
Yeah, so parang she's like, see, may bias ako kay Bobby.
Ba't ka naiiyak?
I'm just congested. Anyway, parang like she really gave a lot.
That the decision to move abroad was actually the reason na nag-break sila ni Chad.
Yeah.
And when she moved abroad, actually sinabi niya dito sa confrontation scene na it was really difficult and lonely for her, pero nagmatigas siya para kakayanin.
Yeah.
And that it actually affected her relationship with the siblings kasi ever since then, they actually see her as ambisyosa and matigas.
Yun nga that's what I don't understand. Kaninong perspective nang galing yung ambisyosa?
Alex? I think si Alex ang nagsabi nun. And I think Teddy also shares similar sentiments na, matigas daw si Bobby.
Kasi hindi sumusunod sa kanya. Is that it? Kasi diba in the birth order theory, applicable ba kay Bobby yun? Like the second child is competitive.
Definitely. For me, applicable yun. Kasi, siguro, hindi naman sa competitive, pero trying to measure herself to Teddy. Kasi sinabi niya din sa confrontation scene kay mami niya na all her life, she's always felt like second siya kay Ate Teddy niya. I think she gave some examples. I think one was, nag-graduate siya valedictorian and maraming awards, pero si Teddy pa rin yung pinuri for, I guess, graduating with 1 or 2 awards. So, definitely it applies to her na she always felt like all her life she was second to Ate Teddy and she had to measure herself up to that. And maybe, honestly, I think that's a big part of the reason why she's actually very successful. She's the most successful among the siblings kasi she always felt like she had that extra chip on her shoulder. Parang she had that chip on her shoulder na parang she had to prove herself. So yun, parang kawawa. I mean, pero yun, I guess at the end of the day, like we said kanina, these unfortunate things that may happen to us as kids, at the end of the day, meron din naman maitutulong yun sa atin. We're not saying na it should happen, but if it does happen to you, kumbaga don't lose all hope. Kasi, sabi ng friend natin, si Mr. Marco Parungo, pressure makes diamonds. Sabi niya
fresh from a hole earlier today.
Fresh from Marcos request na i-shout out natin siya.
Pressure makes diamond.
Sige, so, ano pa ba kay Bobby?
Yung kay Bobby, well, yung sa relationship niya,
kay Chad?
Talk about that, na parang she's not ready to commit. No, to Sam.
To Sam?
Na parang Sam is so ready to propose na to her, but she's not yet ready. And at the same time, parang the anak, yung daughter ni Sam, parang also is kind of mean to her.
In fairness kay Trixie, who's the daughter of Sam, I think it's hard naman for any child at that age.
Yeah.
Na may bagong papasok na who's gonna take the place of your mom.
I just got reminded how kids can be so.
Yeah, pero she's a kid, and I actually think she really came from a good place kasi 'di ba sinabi niya kay Bobby yung nag-propose ulit si Sam kay Bobby before he left sa taxi, tas ayaw mag-yes ni Bobby. Diba sabi ni Trixie sa kanya, please stop hurting my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Parang
in her perspective.
Parang he keeps proposing to you, you keep saying no.
Yeah, in her perspective na sinasaktan mo yung tatay.
So, I actually think Trixie's a good kid. Kailangan lang talagang, may mga realizations. And I think Bobby also had to change in some ways in terms of kay Trixie kasi it all worked out in the end sa relationship nila. I think what really helped the relationship was the fact na Bobby started to show some vulnerability. Diba? Nakita ni Trixie how Bobby was treated by her siblings, yung away nila, saan siya yung mga hurts niya, and that actually softened yung relationship nila. So,
naawa si Trixie kay Bobby kasi
I think so.
binubuli siya ng mga kapatid niya.
I think that's important na magpakita ng vulnerability yung person. And I think that's a growth that Bobby had to go through kasi nga nagmamatikas siya, diba, for most of her life. Parang ganun. And I think one thing I want to bring up regarding to Bobby is yung feeling niya na ba't parang kasalanan ko kung may mga achievements ako.
Oh yeah, the meme. Bakit parang kasalanan ko?
Yeah. Di ba parang I think it came out dun sa confrontation scene na parang sinabi ni Teddy sa kanya na ikaw na Bobby, ikaw na nga magaling, ikaw na lang lagi magaling. Parang ginaganon siya ni Teddy. Tapos Bobby was like, bakit parang kasalanan?
Okay, last point for Bobby. Okay. I think this is the perfect segue to the next to Alex, which is yung sumunod kay Bobby. But another factor then siguro kung bakit hindi makayes si Bobby sa relationship sa proposal ni Sam, plus kung bakit medyo tainted yung relationship nila ni Alex is because ex niya yung current jowa ni Alex, which is Chad.
Bernard Palanca.
And when Bobby returned from the States to the Philippines, parang pansin mo talaga na grabe yung tension nilang dalawa. Hindi sila nag-uusap, like sungitan talaga, ganyan. And we found out na nag-propose pala si Chad kay Bobby, and then she rejected it because she had to go to the States to really support the family.
Yeah.
And then yung confusing doon is she's hurt na si Alex tsaka si Chad naging sila, even though apparently Bobby gave the go signal for Alex and Chad to be together.
Yeah, parang di ba, like I said, Bobby left for US, break sila ni Chad, and then Alex was parang hoping na magkakabalikan pa si Ate Bobby niya tsaka si Chad. Kasi idol niya si Ate Bobby niya actually. Favorite niya si Ate Bobby niya. Was hoping, pero ito si Chad gago talaga. So, pinapormahan si Alex. Yun, so parang nagpaalam siya, nag-yes daw, so naging sila. And then, that really, talagang escalated na yung tension between them.
Yun. Mm-mm. And siguro, that's also why hindi pag-game si Bobby to say yes to Sam. Mm-mm. Because meron pa siyang chapter na hindi nako-close.
So, wala pang closure?
Oo, wala pang closure. Or, I guess guilty pa rin siya kay Alex. I don't know.
Ako, inisip ko, it's actually not about Chad. It's actually about her, all her life feeling like she's not good enough.
Ito na naman yung favorite quote ni Kevin. Pasok!
Ayan, we accept the love we think we deserve. So, that will actually apply to Alex also. Pero, yun, I actually feel like, being the second child and then always feeling like anong gawin niya, hindi siya enough sa parents niya. Baka may kinalaman yun why she didn't, hindi siya nag-guess kay Chad, but hindi siya nag-guess kay Chad, but hindi siya nag-guess kay Sam. Is it because she feels like hindi niya deserve to be somebody's wife? Or she's not good enough? I don't know.
Tanong natin si Bea.
Interview nga natin.
Oo nga Pa-text siya.
Our middle child.
Si Alex.
Played by
Angel Locsin.
Angel Locsin.
So, si Alex naman, she is portrayed as the middle sheep. The black sheep of the family, or at least, yun nga, parang that's how they really made her seem. Kasi, parang compared to the rest of the siblings, siya yung medyo may unconventional. Quote unquote. I say this as a creative who also has like an unconventional job. Or like a non-traditional job. I mean, in a sense.
Which is, ano siya, AD? Assistant
yeah,
director.
in a film. And, yun, parang medyo like may rebellious side siya, or yun yung pinapakita. Like, she wears shorts. Yuck. I'm so rebellious, I wear shorts.
Hey,
kaya daw palagi mag-pants.
We have some friends na pinipilit mag-pants lagi.
Ayun nga eh.
Kahit alam naman din natin comfortable siya
kaya
naka-shorts.
Kaya nga,
be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself.
Our friend out there.
Yes. Anyway, so Alex is very true to herself with her shorts. But you know what I love about Alex the most? She drives a Tamaraw. Remember?
Tamaraw FX?
Yeah. She drives a fucking Tamaraw.
Saan siya natutulog?
Rock girl. So, ayun. It's unfair na wala masyadong information about Alex, actually. It's just that, yun nga, she's the black sheep, siya yung nang-agaw ng jowa. Yun yung image na pinakita eh. So like,
what do you mean wala masyadong information for her?
No, I mean that's parang wala masyadong positive things about Alex na pinakita. Kasi like, she's not working a lucrative job. Siya yung nang-agaw ng jowa. Siya yung masungit.
I think the fact
siya yung cold.
I think the fact that she doesn't masungit and cold is Bobby. Yun yung na-portray doon, di ba? Yun yung reklamo nila kay Bobby, siya masungit cold. Alex is actually the one who defends the other siblings always. She's the first one. Siya yung palaban. Siya nag-defend kay Reb.
Okay. Oo nga. Siya
diba?
yung kumakampi kay Reb.
And she's the one who doesn't give a shit about what other people say. Siya yung, I think those are actually positive attributes, right?
Okay. So yun, she is the super mega middle child in a sense na they're 5, she's the third one. Tapos siya lang yung may naibang name.
Yeah.
Sa 4 na girls.
That's actually a good observation.
Teddy, Bobby, tapos si Gabby yung sumunod, tapos Alex. So, yun din ba yung concept ni Alex pagdating sa jowa niya? Charot. Bahala na, I'm with Chad.
Initially, I think I mentioned this to you. Initially, akala ko it was more of like, kasi idol kasi Ate Bobby, so gagayahin ko siya in all aspects, including,
the boyfriend.
Pero the more I think about it, I think it's more of like a self-esteem issue for Alex. And I think she gave that away when she told Bobby na, kaya ka naman ako pumatol kay Chad, diba? Kasi ako naman yung kulelat sa atin. Remember that line? Parang, yun medyo nagkabati na sila.
So parang she also admits
so she admits na
si Chad.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So she's saying na I deserve this kind of man. Ina-admit niya na womanizer si Chad. Gago si Chad. Pero sinasabi niya dahil ako naman yung kulelat sa atin, baka kaya ko siya sinagot. So that was again the line na we accept the love we think we deserve. Parang lumalabas yun dun. Na ganun yung tingin ni Alex sa sarili niya. So I think yun, for Alex and Chad, it's those two things. Self-esteem ni Alex na feeling niya deserve niya si Chad kasi kulelat siya. And number 2, she needed validation and she could only get that from Chad kasi nobody else was paying her enough attention sa pamilya nila, being the middle child. And the fact na umalis kasi si Ate Bobby niya. So, yun. It all goes back to Alex's self-esteem.
Okay, next we have Gabby. So, Gabby is played by Shaina Magdayal. So, Gabby, I guess she's the only one who stayed in the family home.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why she is being portrayed as the kanang kamay. Or at least, parang, on behalf of the mom, she's like the one doing the household or managing the household stuff.
Yeah.
So, parang, she's like mature also. And then she's a teacher, right?
I'm not sure.
Parang there was one scene there, like she was walking in a campus.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
She's a teacher. Aside from that, wala na akong maalala. That's yun na lang yung niya.
I think,
nagluluto siya.
Yeah, I think kay Gabby, parang, medyo, actually ako, hindi rin ako makadecide kung are we gonna treat her as like a middle child or a youngest child. Given niya yung position niya sa family. But I think it's a mix of both. With the middle child syndrome na we talk about kanina, di ba either rebellious si Alex yun, or ikaw yung parang taga-awat ng lahat. Kasi you're the one in the middle. So you're literally in the middle also of the fights. Parang ganun. So, kita mo yun sa kanya. Siya yung lagi nagsasabi na, ate, tama na. Ate, bati na tayo. Bati na kayo. Hindi ko alam. Sabi ng Bertrand theory because ikaw nga daw sa gitna and you don't necessarily have a role. Like an assigned role. Pero sometimes you take on other roles. Sometimes you take on other roles in the family like yun, yung pagiging peacekeeper. I actually also think for Gabby na kita natin diba yung sa flashback, yung sa start na hindi siya pinapakinggan being the youngest girl. So, ang inisip ko, kaya ba siya naging super serious growing up? Para seryosohin siya ng lahat? Kasi growing up, parang di siya tinitake seriously eh.
I mean, we can only base it on the first scene.
Yeah, the first scene, when they were kids, na parang hindi siya masyado napapakinggan. There was
siya ba yung sali ako? Okay.
Siya yun. Sali ako, tapos parang siya, saling pusa siya lagi. So, inisip ko, is that part of it? Being the youngest among the girls na she felt growing up na she had to be more serious?
Kasi then parang for a while,
siya yung bunso. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, diba? For a long time, siya yung bunso. And dinasal nila magka-baby boy.
Yeah.
Yung isip yung isa, I'm not sure. And is that only the reason why teacher yung inassign na role sa character niya? Is because teachers tend to be super serious and strict. So it all blends into the same character na she overcompensated for being the youngest for a long time by being more mature and being more serious.
Or baka naging teacher siya kasi in-idolize niya si Ate Teddy who was formerly also a teacher. Pwede rin.
Pero yun yung basa ko kay Gabby. And I think mas mabigyan siya ng more emphasis in the later movies. Pero at least for the first one, yun, parang underappreciated all her life. Yun yung nakukuha ko from her. Even when they were adults.
Kasi parang siya na nga yung nagstay in the family home. Pero parang Ate Teddy pa rin yung nung mom niya.
Lagi na lang siya yung nag-a-adjust.
That must be so exhausting for her though. It's so hard to be like a mediator in a big family.
Yun lang talaga na parang peace siya. Hindi siya nag-start ng gulo. Lagi siya yung nag-aasikaso ng lahat.
Yeah. So like she really is the peacekeeper and the neutral ground.
Yeah, she is.
Wawa naman, Gabby. Parang this is the most stressful. For me, this is the most stressful role. Being the peacekeeper.
Pinakamadaling role kay Reb.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's move on to Reb, the baby of the family. So the youngest child, super bunso, to the point na, like, the four sisters asked for a brother. So medyo malaki yung gap nila. How old do you think Shaina was?
Sa itsura nila nung sa starting scene?
Yeah.
She seemed like she was like 5 or 6.
Also like 6-year gap.
Yeah, she seemed like she was 5 or 6. So I think sila Teddy there was around 11, 12.
Yeah, so baby talaga.
Yeah.
And yun nga, siya yung magpapakasal kay Princess. And I think yung napansin ko is, I mean, also what was said in the movie was he jumps into relationships super quickly. And do you think that's because he is so used to being supported by women all his life?
Feeling ko, yeah. Feeling ko.
No?
Definitely.
Like, binibaby siya all the time.
Yeah, but definitely. So, basically, di ba we talk about attachment theory in previous episodes. So, mukhang for Reb, yun yung template niya of what relationships are. Na kinikater to siya, inaalagaan siya, sa kanya, siya yung center of attention. So, I think growing up, kaya rin siya jumping from one relationship to another, it's because sanay siya na dun, like, baka dun nagagaling a big part of his validation comes from his relationships. And siguro on another level, it seems like puro positive yung naging experience niya with relationships. Kasi dahil, I mean, at least sa family, no? Na parang everybody's catering to him. So, is that part of the reason why hindi siya reluctant to jump into relationships? Kasi hindi siya jaded?
Kaka-break niya nga lang kay diba? What's her name?
Yeah. But it took a few years.
Huh?
Magtagal-tagal sila nun.
Yun nga, but it took him
a short
time to get over her and then jump into...
Yeah, because baka nga most of his relationships sa buhay niya, being the youngest, medyo, I guess hindi siya as jaded about relationships. Anyway, pero feeling ko the bigger reason is what we said earlier. Na based on his template of what relationships are, lagi siya tinitake care of at kinikater to, then all the more reason he's gonna jump into relationships.
Yeah. And I think na pag-usapan din natin tong the fact that he proposed right away. Parang he's trying to prove na he's like a grown-up already. Remember this?
Yeah, and I think that comes from being the youngest also, na, di ba there was a line doon na parang feeling rin niya, like we said, siya ina kanina, feeling niya na hindi siya siniseryoso lagi. So, is that part of the reason why he makes big decisions like this? To prove to everyone else na I'm my own man? Like, I'm a big boy already. I'm not the baby.
Yeah.
I think, yung sinabi natin kanina na sometimes you make decisions because you wanna be bigger than how you've felt all your life. I think dun papasok yan na nag-make siya ng big decisions like that to prove to everyone else na, you know, hindi na ako baby. I can make my own decisions.
Yeah.
Sige, so, you wanna talk about the mom?
Oh yeah, the mom. The mom has her favorites. But I think yung hindi masyadong na flesh out was how, kasi diba they almost got divorced. And then the dad is not in the picture, so I don't know if they separated. Well, he died.
Namatay yung daddy.
So parang how does that factor in with her relationship with the sibling?
With the kids.
With the kids, yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
na parang, I don't know, dahil naghiwalay sila nung asawa niya.
Hindi sila naghiwalay eh.
Ay, dahil namatay. Muntik nga sila maghiwalay, diba? They almost got divorced during the start of the film. Nag-aaway. That's why they asked for the baby brother.
The kids asked for, yeah.
Yun, so parang how did that experience change her relationship with her kids?
I would expect na mas maging closer ka sa kids mo kasi all of your time will be spent with your kids na.
Bakit hindi siya mas naging close kay Bobby if Bobby was the one who helped the family the most?
Because Bobby was away. Bobby was in the US living her own life.
I guess wala pang internet masyado nun, no? Hindi ba sa'yo nakapag-FaceTime?
I would expect nga na dapat closer siya kay Gabby. Pero actually, sige, I think what I want to point out kay mommy is, I agree with Bobby's point na sometimes, kahit hindi mo napapansin, lalabas talaga yung meron kang kids na, hindi naman necessarily favorite, pero you pay more attention to. And I like what Bobby said na that's okay. Kasi what I want to point out is, just because mas malaking attention na pinakita niya din sa kuya mo, or sa ate mo, or sa bunso nyo, it doesn't mean your parents love you any less. And I actually agree with that. Pero ikaw mukhang hindi. But hindi ka
If you love your children equally, why don't you show it equally?
Kasi lahat naman tayo, babe, may mga blind spots. So, lahat naman tayo.
Kaya nga, so I don't believe that she loves her children equally. Kasi she has her favorites. Like, if she loves them equally, why isn't she showing it equally?
Because, babe, not all your kids are gonna be equal in terms of sino yung mga ngailangan sa'yo. And it's true, if we're gonna have multiple kids, not everyone's gonna need us the same way. Iba-iba sila ng how they're gonna need us. Therefore, iba-iba rin in some ways, no? Maging iba rin yung the way we show love.
Okay, so what did we learn today? I'll go first. Mahirap pagpalaki ng bata. Just. No, it's hard. Well, that's obvious naman. I guess it's harder to raise multiple kids. Well, because number one, I don't have experience as a mom. Also, I don't have siblings, so I don't know what it's like. But also, parang I don't want to be the type of parent talaga. Like the mom here in Four Sisters. Like, if I say that I love my children equally, I'm gonna show it equally also. If it's necessary, I'm gonna time block the time I spend with my kids.
So, yun nga. So, I think no matter how hard you try, yung sinasabi mo na you spend equal time with everyone, I think it's bound to happen. I think it's bound to happen na your kids will feel like meron kang favorite. And I don't think necessarily it has to do with your own actions. Baka sometimes it's also yung perception na ng kids mo.
That's true.
So, I guess what I wanna add to what you said is that, you know, when it comes to our kids' self-esteem, mental health growing up, we just try our best. Pero napakaraming sources of narcissistic self-injury or ang napakaraming sources of things that can affect your kid's self-esteem even if you do everything right as a parent. Pwedeng sa school, pwedeng sa friends, pwedeng sa relationships, pwedeng sa sarili nilang kapatid, expectations of themselves sa sarili nila, expectations ng mga you know, comparing themselves to their siblings. Even if ikaw as a parent, you don't really pressure your child, pwede pa rin na makaka-feel siya ng pressure from other sources. So I guess what I'm saying is, we just do the best we can as parents, be consistent in nurturing our children, and you know, not blame ourselves all the time if not everything turns out the way we want it to. Because there's only so much that we can control. At the end of the day, we gotta draw the line between the things we can control and the things we can't. And how our kids turn out in the end, not everything is in our control. So,
that's your lesson also?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to yours.
Okay. So that wraps up our conclusion. Gutom na ako. That wraps up our discussion of Four Sisters and the wedding. So, wait, I think we need to start doing the spiel. Kasi we have a goal, like a personal goal for Therapop. Kasi we want to grow this channel so that we can keep doing it. So if you like this, please, if you're on Spotify, don't forget to follow the podcast and rate it. Well, if you're on YouTube, you just need to like and subscribe. Yes.
We also have IG and Facebook. Please visit our channels.
At Therapop Pod. Oh, yun. There, Therapop Pod. Ano to? And then, if you have any film suggestions, please let us know. Kasi we want to start doing like...
Parang requests from our
like
therapists.
Requests. Yeah. And better do it ASAP before I give birth. So that pwede naman siyang ipila.
That's it for our episode tonight. We had fun discussing this movie. So catch you guys next time right here on Therapop.
Bye.
Bye-bye.